How's it going, everybody? Driver 53 here, and today I've got some screenshots that Giants just released over on a brand new blog about Farming Simulator 25. I got to take a look at these last night, and I am very, very excited about what is coming here in Farming Simulator 25. I took a look through all of them, and these are the top 25 things that I noticed, or I think are going to be kind of important things that we need to take a look at here whenever Farming Simulator 25 actually gets released here on November 12th, 2024. Now, this first picture right here may not seem like very much, but a couple things that really stood out to me. And one was the rocks. The rocks right in here, as you can see, they're kind of, it's not like we have normal dirt. I mean, this is all your normal dirt here, but then you've got some more rocks. And the texture of these things is really, really good. And speaking of texture, check out this over here. The old building that we've got here, the metal roof is really starting to get kind of like rusty looking. And then all the boards down here on the side, I mean, there's no two that are alike, and I'm really, really excited about that. It's not just like one pattern that you're seeing like over and over and over. There's a lot of detail in this, and it seems like Giants has really put in a lot of detail into the textures here for the game. And that carries on over to this image right here. Now, this is inside one of the towers that I believe that we're going to be able to build. This is like the grain mill. And as you can see, the texture here on the wall, down here on the boards, over on the door, it's all kind of different. Once again, you've got this big kind of stain thing looking right here, right? And you don't really see that anywhere else over here. Now, the boards, you do see a little bit of the same texture, kind of like right in here and right in here. So, I mean, that's kind of to be expected. But I mean, for the most part, it doesn't look like it's a very, very noticeable pattern. I mean, I'm sure it is, right? But it just doesn't, there's a lot of detail that, once again, they put here into the textures. And while we're on this image right here, I mean, I think this is a very, very interesting view. It looks like you've got a staircase coming up here. You've got a little bit of a balcony or a landing. I mean, are we going to be able to get to explore inside some of these buildings? And the reason I'm asking that is because you could see right here, this is that area that we were just looking at. I mean, right here, here's the door, here's the balcony that's all tore up, right? You've got your window right here. And down here, I can see a little bit of a stairwell right in this area right here. So maybe we are going to be able to get inside of some of these older abandoned buildings, and maybe we're going to be able to get all the way up here to the top. Now, this next image, it might not seem like a whole lot, but there are three big things that stand out to me. The first one is right here. It's a school bus. We are going to have some school buses in the game. And the reason I say in the game, because look at the headlights. This thing is not parked. This is driving around the map, and it even says school bus on it. I mean, it's legit like you would see here in the United States. I'm very, very excited to see a more immersive set of vehicles here that are going to really make the map come to life a lot more. And another thing that really stood out to me was the complexity of the silo system. Now, I know that we've seen this in some other PC mods and things like that in the last game and in this game, but I mean, this is a base game item right here, and modders are going to be able to get to use this entire thing right here to create a brand new solo system in their farms. I mean, if you get mods and things like that, guys are modders are going to be able to take these items and put them together in whatever combination they want. With all this stuff coming all the way up here, I mean, you've got this load point right here that's really nice. It even goes across over to another one. I mean, and another thing, are we going to be able to get to load trains here from this silo? Because you got a couple arms coming out right here. And it looks like it's over the railroad tracks. And even right here, it looks like it's out over the railroad track. Now, the detail in this image is absolutely insane. I mean, this looks like you taken a photo on one of your hikes through the woods. I mean, you've got your main field over here. I'm pretty sure this is going to be like your main farm right here. And you've got so much detail. The first thing are all of the cattails. Cattails, I do not believe, have been involved in any farming simulator game so far. And they are very, very prevalent around where I live at, especially really, really close to water. And since that is the main focus here of Riverbend Springs, now, if you look just off to the left here and to the right, you can see the rocks. Now, these rocks, I mentioned them before, but they're a little bit different, right? It almost looks like it's like a ground texture now that you're going to be able to put in here and be able to raise up a bit of this ground to be able to do a little bit of nice rock texture. But then you look over here and it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, that looks like a pretty big crevice. And then you come around over here and like, that's a really steep edge. How would you do this with terraforming? The transition right here, guys, the transition from rock into your dirt. I mean, that is a smooth transition. Just all of the detail, all of this looks like a real bush. I mean, the trees here, incredible, incredible detail. And then you take a look at the water. Okay, now this is the first thing that I noticed is you can see through the water down to the rock underneath on the bottom of this creek or little river right here. And you got the reflections here too. I mean, you've got the cattails. You can see the outline right in here. Then you look here, you've got this bush. Well, that's right there. You've got this tree up here. That's right here. But then even through the shadows and the reflection, you're going to be able to see the bottom. There is so much detail that they have put here into the water. I am very excited to see what the rest of this map looks like. Now, here's another image of a brand new production point. Now, this says crossing point ropes. Okay. Now, it seems like just any other regular building. I mean, it's a really, really nice metal construction building with a little bit of brick right here. The one thing that you're going to notice right off the bat is this front loader got a person inside it, and it has a pallet on the front of it with a what appears to be pile of ropes. You can also see three more of them right here. Now, while we're taking a look at this, one other thing that I noticed is it says loading zone right here. So are the production areas now going to have a sign that shows you exactly where the loading point is going to be at, where all of your productions are going to spawn at? You know, and I really have no idea what ropes are going to be used for or how you're even going to make them, but that's one thing that I'm going to focus on whenever Farming Simulator 25 comes out is all of these brand new productions. I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of brand new items that we're going to be able to make, including rope here. But I really have no idea what you're going to use it for, except maybe to build this thing right here, which appears that it might be something very similar to the roller coaster that we had on Silver Run Forest in the expansion pack. Now, another new item that I think we might get is going to be flowers. Now, yes, there are some new flowers around here. You've got some what appears to be a lavender or a May night salvia. It's very, very purple. I like it. I like it a lot. And it's not something that's like in a plant, like in a planter, like you're seeing up here, right? This is actually out in the wild. And because you can see it right here, you can see it here, and you can maybe even see it over here, even though I think this is a different flower. And speaking of flowers, what is this little thing right here? Is this a place to be able to sell flowers? Because this looks like it's going to be a grocery market or a produce market, something like that. And speaking of, I love the detail on this building. You've got some big doors right here you're going to be able to use. I think a lot of modders are going to take this and turn this into like a cow barn, which is probably what it originally started out as here in the United States. But it looks like it's going to be like some type of market or something like that, where you're going to be able to drop off some of your products, make a little bit of money, and flowers. I mean, there's two signs right here that say flowers. Why else would you need a flower sign if you're not going to sell them? And there's one more thing in this image that's really catching my eye, not so much because it's in this photo, but it's because it's in another photo as well. And that's going to be this red wagon right here. Now, I don't see any markings on it, any words or anything like that, but it shows up in this image as well. You can see right here, it's the exact same one. Now, this looks like it's going to be some type of sell point because you're going to be able to drive through right here. It looks like there may be a sign down here, but I can't tell what is on it right now. I mean, you've got a windmill, but it doesn't look like it's got any water power going to it. So I'm not sure exactly what this is, but let's keep an eye on these red wagons. Now, this image right here, I absolutely love because I remember at one time somebody asked me what was something that I was looking forward to in like a next game. And I said, a ferry. Why not have a ferry that you could take across a river, be able to transport your equipment, your crops, different things like that, and be able to use it, you know, from point A to point B. You actually drive it or something like that, but you have to take the ferry across. And we saw this in the gameplay video that they released not too long ago, but it didn't have this barge in it. So, I mean, are you going to have to wait on a barge to cross before you can cross? Hopefully it's not too slow and it actually makes pretty good progress. If I zoom in right here, I can't necessarily see anybody driving it. And I don't see anybody down here in this either, but I do see a character sitting right there. It looks like they have suspenders on. And while we're talking about barges, what about this image right here? It looks like it's a big sell point that you're going to be able to bring your crops to, drive underneath here, sell them off, and possibly you're going to get to load up barges. I mean, if this comes out far enough, I can't exactly tell where it's going to. But you might be able to use this to actually load up a barge and then deliver it kind of like you would a train. And if you look over here, it maybe kind of looks like somebody's driving this one. I didn't see that in the last one, but is that a person? Now, this image right here, at first, I didn't really know what to think about it. I'm like, okay, well, it's got some clouds. It's got a little bit of haze going on with it. You can see the different layers of kind of shadow depending on how far away things are. But then I looked down and I saw the ripples in the water. I mean, this is insane. The ripples, you can see where it appears like this person is walking through. You can see the ripples moving. Now, we did see that in the video that they showed of the rice planter going through the field. But I mean, even a person making these waves, that's crazy. Now, I just noticed this. This is not one of the 25 things that I noticed before, but I just noticed it now. And that appears to be a dragonfly. But I think the bigger thing that I'm going to hope for from this image is a third person camera. I didn't realize it at first, but the second time I went through and looked at these, I think we're going to get third person camera because how else would they get the image of a person standing here seeing their whole body if we didn't have some type of camera that you could move around? Now, are they have two players in here and this is a preview for multiplayer? I don't think so because this right here appears to be coming from this person. It doesn't appear like there's any other ripples coming from anybody standing right here where this camera would be at. I mean, any way you look at it, it doesn't appear to be that way. Looks like this is the only epicenter for those ripples is right here at this character. And here we have one of our production areas. It apparently is a paper mill or paper works type area. First thing I noticed right here in the center of the screen is a no swimming sign or be careful or something. No, in reality, it's the splashing water right here. With all of the focus on water, they have a splashing effect here in this wheel that's going around and it's moving something on the inside. And I am very, very on board with this because I kind of saw this on the cover art where the tractor was splashing up the water. And I like this. I like this a lot more detail and immersion into it. Now, another thing that I saw here on this image was right here in front of the vehicle. If I zoom in over here, it appears that this is like the recipe or the steps that you're going to need to complete this production. You're going to need trees, and you're going to have to cut them down, and you have to make wood chips, and it's going to be processing the pulp. And then there's stone something here, and then something else happening here, and then you're finally going to get your roll of paper. It looks like this is your recipe, and these are the things you're going to need to be able to make your final output. And if they do this on every one of the productions, I mean, I don't know what kind of videos I'm going to need to make because it's already going to be there for you guys, but I'm still going to make them. I'm still going to make all the videos showing you exactly how profitable all of these different productions are. And this is one that we had originally in a DLC expansion, and it looks like it's going to be base game now. So here is your animal yard or your livestock yard, however you want to describe it. And at first I was like, you know what? There's nothing really interesting here about this image. Maybe the lighting where it's showing it coming backwards and this is coming down, a little bit of haze here. I mean, there's nothing to me that really stands out. I could be wrong. One thing that I did notice was this window right here. We've got some curtains in front of it. Looks like they're trying to hide some stuff. But it looks like Giants is going to be using generic interiors again, because this right here, I don't think that wall is going to go that way. You know what I mean? It just looks a little bit off because this wall is going this direction and that wall appears to be going that direction at almost like a 45-degree angle to this one, or even not 90, but I mean like a 60, 70-degree angle. It's very odd to me right now. And this one here kind of has the same look to it, right? These kind of look okay, but nothing big here, except that just looks really odd. Here we have what appears to be possibly another production area or just a sell point that's going to then generate something for you. Now, if you remember, we're going to get to build some items here in the game. It's going to be maybe using some wood or some concrete blocks or something like that, but this appears to be cement. All right, now I don't necessarily know if you're going to be able to drive underneath this, but I can tell you right here is a load of rocks. Yeah, there's rocks in this trailer being pulled by a beautiful 3650 John Deere right here. I mean, look at the color, the detail on this tractor, the amount of dirt, just everything about this is beautiful. I mean, the guy right here, he's probably even wearing John Deere gear. But I mean, how cool would it be if we're going to be able to bring rock here? It gets crushed up, turns into cement. Then you get to take that cement over to one of the other areas that you need to build. And this is another one of those things like the roller coaster where you're going to get to build some of these items around the map using things that you get to do and collect while you're farming and making your farm that much bigger. And I'm sure this is the image that most of you have been waiting for, the map. Yes, this is Riverbend Springs right here. And one thing that I noticed right off the bat, this is going to be your main farm. They've shown this off so many different times. You've got the barn there, you got a little bit of storage area right in here. These are the 3 fields. Over here was where the greenhouses were at that they showed originally. I mean, this was the rice field, right? Another rice field. So this is going to be your starting farm right here. Now, another thing that I noticed here was the shape of the fields. Now, you do have some absolutely rectangular fields. You got one right here. I mean, you've got a couple down here on the bottom, right? You've got some up over in here. And it looks like we're really going to all 4 corners here of the map. They're really maximizing the amount of space that you're going to be able to take up here in this 2 by 2 kilometer area. And a little bit more specifically about the shape of the fields, if I zoom in here, I mean, these curves, these look really, really detailed curves. Now, I know that we've had curves in other maps, but in a base game map like this, if we take a look at Elm Creek, you're going to be able to see, yes, we had some curves up here, but when you really start to zoom in on them, they weren't super defined. They were almost like kind of like straight edge with like a little bit of a weird bend, or I mean, some of them were okay, right? But then you had other ones that were really curvy, and it was like, man, this edge is like really awkward, right? Even like this is like a rectangle with just like a little bit of rounding on it. Like you get down here, and it's like, why didn't they round this, right? Or why didn't they round this, right? Or even here, right? I mean, this definitely wasn't rounded. I mean, this was like a bunch of straight lines, even on this side. And then over here, I mean, kind of the same way. It's like, are we getting ready to get a lot more defined roundness to our fields? I mean, because I mean, there's just some really awkward shaped fields. I mean, like this thing down here, right? And with GPS now, I mean, a worker is going to be able to work this field. So GPS must be really, really good if they're giving us like these really rounded edges here on these fields. These workers are going to be able to navigate this no problem. I mean, I'm pretty sure the one that we looked at during the little example video of GPS was maybe something with like triangles or something on it, but these rounds, this is very intriguing. Now, the last thing here that I noticed about this PDA that I did not see happening over here in Elm Creek. You look at Elm Creek, all the fields are the same color. You've got the buildings that are the same color. The trees are dots, right? Your roads are kind of either a gravel road or it's like an asphalt road. I mean, everything was just kind of blah. In this one, though, that's not the case at all. The trees look like actual trees, right? They're different sizes. I mean, even the dirt texture here in the map, it's got cracks that go all the way through it. It's like it's a real dirt picture that they threw behind this thing. I mean, a lot of detail there. Your water looks like actual water. It's not just colored. And you got clouds around the outside, which is a nice little touch. Biggest thing that I noticed here is your buildings. They're different colors. Now, you do have the standard base gray, right? It looks like it's got some texture going on with it too. And you've got these white cream colored ones right here. You've got red and you've got blue. And if you look right here, this building has got 2 different colors associated with it at the same time. It's got the gray and a little bit of red. Now, I think this right here may actually be your animal dealer. I'm not 100% on that, but just kind of the way that it lines up. And then we had a video where it showed it driving around the outside and it looked like a curve like this. I think this is going to be your animal dealer. So what is the difference between red and gray? Is it the is it the roof color? I'm not sure, but it's very intriguing that you have some of these down here that are red. You got some blue, you got some white. I mean, maybe they're just giving us red, white, and blue because it's an American map. That doesn't make sense because, I mean, they're going to change that up on the other maps then if it's a different country or area's color, right? Well, guys, what do you think? Those are the top 25 things that I noticed, plus a couple bonuses right there that I noticed as we were going through it. I mean, I'm very, very excited for this game to release November 12th, 2024. I don't know what more to expect. You know what I mean? There is a lot of really cool stuff in here. I'm sure there's more stuff that you guys are going to find. If you see anything else that I didn't see, definitely put it down in the comments below. Guys, that's going to be it for today. Enjoy the video. Go and give it a thumbs up if you would. If you want to stay up to date on my future videos here on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe, turn on your notification bell. While you're waiting on those future videos, go and check out one of these 2 right here. Have a great day, night, evening, everybody. Until next time, this is Driver 53. Signing off.